The scary sequel. So, hey everybody, RockPaperMario here.
Hi, Sean here from Good Entertainment as well.
And we're back for another spooky recap of what's been going on with Summertime Radness, the scary sequel.
Ooh, and my voice is all deep and raspy because it's scary. That's why. Not because I'm sick, but it's because it's scary. That's why.
Yeah, Sean's general kind of body is in spooky mode at the moment. Kind of just. He's feeling kind of grungy and slimy and scary and undead. So cut
it's on
him some
purpose.
slack, everybody.
Right. It's for you guys. It's do it for the video.
Yeah. Pretty much. So we're here. It's Saturday the 4th of August, and it's hard to believe that we're entering the final month of Summertime Radness 2, the scary sequel already. We only have like one more month left in order to get all the videos that we want to make to get made, and that means it's only 1 month for you guys to get creating and get uploading as well. But
Absolutely.
as is like the way we usually do, we're going to look back over what got uploaded throughout the month of July also, starting with some more great contributions by the one and only and amazing Mini Minchino, who played Metroid Fusion and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Sean, did you ever play Metroid Fusion, or I don't know what your experience is of it?
I have a copy of Metroid Fusion that I borrowed from a friend from college, and I have not given it back to him. So I do own the game, and I've been meaning to play it for a long time. So it was especially cool getting to take a look at it, because from what I know about the game, it's a pretty different Metroid game in terms of the story, at least, because like I know most Metroid games as either rehashes of other versions of Metroid games, or like usually being like directly tied to each other kind of thing. And from what I know about Metroid Fusion, it's actually like a little bit different in terms of the story. It's not just like this happened after Super Metroid, this happened before Super Metroid. It's very like its own, not that it's its own thing, it's tied into the obviously the rest of Metroid, but it's an excellent game, and I like getting to see a little bit of it. So I'm only happy. I mean, and then sorry. Like I said, like it's always great to see Metroid on the list. Like it's always a stellar choice.
Totally. And you guys thought that you'd seen all of the Metroid games possible, and then Mini comes out with Metroid Fusion for Summertime Radness as well, which is just a great choice considering the fact that it probably has some of the creepiest sections of any Metroid game, because you have this like Samus you have this like clone of Samus, the SAX or whatever it's called, like going around the place, creeping around. You always feel this kind of sense of fear and foreboding that it's kind of like breathing down your neck, or you're kind of sneaking around, and when is it going to show up, and when is it going to show its face and stuff like that, which is like pretty cool, I must say. And then, just to kind of get a little bit less serious, she did Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, playing as my beloved King Boo, who I always play as.
For sure.
And always get ridiculed for it because he's so not the best.
He's wonderful. King Boo is a treat, a joy. You know?
Yeah, and I think we got to see some of like the great stages that Mario Kart 8 has to offer, including like the twisted halls of the Boo stage there, which I remember seeing that for the first time. I loved it because you have all this wacky kind of like halls swaying side to side, and you get to go underwater and everything. It's just a really great Mario Kart stage.
Yeah, I remember as well seeing it for like the first time, and I mean even now, even as I go through the level, there's so many little things that I always forget. I don't realize I'm picking up on, kind of thing. The anti-gravity really, they really utilize the anti-gravity in that level, just in terms of like how you go down into the water. I don't know, it's such a neat turn, man, I like that's always a level I love seeing. It's one of the best, I think. So I only loved seeing it, and I'm probably going to be doing my own Mario Kart video this upcoming month, which I'm very excited about. I feel like Summertime Radness just isn't complete, or one of our events just isn't complete without just a bunch of people playing Mario Kart 8. You know?
Yeah, I think so too. And one of the things that we talked about before, and I think I can mention this because it's unfortunately not going to happen. One of the things that we really would have loved to do would have been for Sean and I to be able to play battle mode in the Luigi's Mansion stage on Double Dash. That would have been like our dream come true of like a spooky Mario Kart video. But yeah, some things just aren't meant to be, I guess. But
yeah, unfortunately. Harry, talking about wonderful, what would dream kind of like situations. You played Pokemon Platinum for Summertime Radness, and you did probably one of my favorite areas, sections, moments in all of Pokemon like history, for me at least, and that you went to the Great Chateau in Pokemon Platinum. Which was, I mean, I love it. I love the atmosphere of that place so much. It's such a neat, cool, and almost like a hidden away kind of thing, because you can totally miss the Great Chateau, which is why I think it's so cool. Yeah. And I'm happy you did find Rotom, because
I know. I was like, what's going on here? I can't find it.
I mentioned it in a comment on the video, but it's like that game has so many small, weird little things that you have to do right in order to activate certain events, which I love. Like it's not just, oh, go here and you'll find a Drifloon. It's no, you need to be here on Fridays, and I think at a certain time, and that's when you can find them.
Yeah.
And I think
I think they do that so much deeper. Yeah, and I think they do that with don't they do that with Spiritomb as well somehow? There's like something.
Yeah.
In order to get it to appear, you have to do. What is it again?
There was like some you had to go
specification.
Yeah, you had to go underground. There was that whole like underground thing, and you had to like steal flags from other people or something, and nobody did that. I know I got my Spiritomb off the GPS, and that was good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure that's the way it worked?
I think that was one of the ways. I mean, and again, this is this is still kind of in the days where I would just go on like GameFAQs and just like look up like hints and tricks, So that could be it. I think you also could like. I think there was another way too, but I'm not totally positive. I think that was the way that I knew, and I never did it. So
anyway, still a cool Pokemon. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Spiritomb because he was one of my favorites back in the Platinum days, and I think for me, Platinum was probably one of the Pokemon games I played the most out of any of the other ones. I sunk so much time into that game, and I love a lot of the Gen 4, just Pokemon in general. So getting to rep my buddy Rotom and show off the actual ghosts. That's another thing we didn't mention, the fact that there are actual dead people in the old chateau in Pokemon Platinum. Which is quite strange. So yeah, it was something that was a treat for me and kind of a good excuse to test recording the DS. I'm going to here's my moment for me to be candid here, because I didn't watch the next video, which is the one that Sean did of the Octo Expansion. I didn't watch it at all. I was tempted, but the reason I didn't watch it is because I have the Octo Expansion myself and I haven't played it yet, and I was like, no, I don't want to miss out on it being so special, because Splatoon as a franchise, just I adore it. I just think it's so clever. I just think everything fits together so well. We've talked about it before, I think last year for Summertime Radness, how we just love that combination of kind of like skater culture and kind of the punky kind of humor as well that Splatoon has. So if you want to say a couple of words about your own video, feel free, because I have no idea about what the video was like.
Well, and honestly, I'm glad that you didn't watch it, because part of what I talk about in the video is that it's such a surreal surprise, especially. Well, I would say for people who love Splatoon, because it is this totally different vibe than what normal Splatoon stuff offers. It is this creepier, weirder aesthetic. Without really saying anything about it, it does kind of give off like a Portal 2 vibe, which is crazy. Like, which is so, like, that's so different than what normal Splatoon offers. I don't know. It's so much fun. It's super hard, and I like the challenge, but it's really tough. But I enjoy it a lot because it's great, obviously. But the art style is what I appreciate probably the most. Like, you know, I loved paying for every cent of it because I just got to kind of be in this different weird kind of world, this different setting. And like they totally go all out on it. It's a stellar expansion. If you like Splatoon, I could only recommend it.
Now you're making me wonder why I haven't tried it out yet. So it's just
well, you have it.
Maybe maybe that can be my homework. I always seem to get homework in these videos, so maybe that can be my homework for the next time.
Maybe.
Okay.
Harry, I loved your next two videos. I gotta say, I really did. Harry made a nice little dipped his toes into the world of Castlevania and that sort of genre, that style, by playing Castlevania IV, as well as the new Bloodstained game. Not the new, well, the new one, but it's the new retro one, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad you have, because that's, like, that was a game I was super curious about, and I think I would love, because I do really love the original Castlevania, like the NES one, but it seems like this is, you know, a little bit more modernized, a little bit more approachable, maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
So Bloodstained, it's kind of like, the best way I could describe it is kind of like a polished, modern, impressive version of what was already a really polished, at the time, modern, impressive game, Castlevania III. And it really is kind of a spiritual successor or a throwback to exactly those games. I must say, the one comment I would like to make about my Castlevania IV video is that, like, I couldn't believe how badly I was playing. I just cannot get over it. And it was, like, really strange because when I booted up Bloodstained, I was playing that so much more effectively and adeptly, and I was like, oh, see, now I can finally prove that I'm not terrible. I don't know what was wrong with me playing Castlevania IV, because usually I don't suck that much ass on that game, I swear. I'm not an expert or anything, but that was just, like, terrible, so...
Were you playing, like, more Bloodstained at the time, and then because they play very different. I mean, that's what makes Castlevania IV special, is that it completely redoes how Castlevania plays, I guess.
Yeah, I had been playing Bloodstained a lot at that time, so maybe that's why, because I noticed, like, I kept forgetting that you can, like, whip in several directions and all that kind of stuff, so maybe that's why. Maybe I was just completely thrown off by the mechanics and things, because I did kind of start to get back into it close to the end, but yeah, I have to have some, like, sucky-ass video that I play really badly, I guess, so...
That
has to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's all part of Summertime Radness, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. Basically, again, I would just want to advertise Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. It is, like, an absolutely amazing game. So anyone who hasn't played it yet, there's no excuse. It is so good. So, yeah. From one haunted, creepy, scary castle mansion to another, Mini Mancino had possibly what is one of the most adventurous, or kind of one of the most kind of unorthodox video game showcases when she uploaded a video of her playing Alter Eon, a game that I didn't even know about but was extremely intrigued by as soon as she showed it. So to kind of give people an insight to it, it's kind of like a text-based Dungeons and Dragons type game, which has been running for the best part of the last 23 or 22 years or something. And one of kind of the big things that she was kind of showing on is the fact that it it offers quite a lot of support for people who are differently sighted, which was also a really cool thing to see. So just kind of being able to see her interact with the game, and just kind of the opportunity to find out about a new game I had never heard of before. I think that kind of, again, is another big thing about why we do these projects, because it lets people share a game that someone might never have heard of, and might be seeing for the first time. So
yeah,
I thought it was really, really cool.
I absolutely adored it, because like you said, it's cool. It's cool to see not only a game that I would never hear of, but also something that's accessible. And I don't know, like I think that's something that we don't really see enough of in games, and to not only be introduced to a game I hadn't heard of, but also something that's just nice and accessible, I think is stellar. So yeah, a wonderful contribution, Minnie. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Loved it so much.
She has good ideas. She has like really good ideas. I kind of like get jealous of her good ideas sometimes, just to be really like upfront about it.
And then we got a nice couple of Harry, always bringing in the big guns here. We play. It wouldn't be an event thrown by us if there wasn't a little bit of Breath of the Wild in the mix, I'll say.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we've done it every time so far.
I think Mario Kart, Splatoon, and Breath of the Wild have been in everything. I think
I think so, yeah.
I think Splatoon I usually shoehorn in somehow. But Breath of the Wild is a game that just fits no matter what you're doing, because it's such a versatile and big game. Like, what you did in it was absolutely, I think, the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure that's just what it is. I love just the whole aesthetic. Just this decked out Skull Kid on a bone horse is, gosh, like, just freaking, like, can I just? That's just what I want the game to be now. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I'm glad you liked it so much, because I think so far, it's like my favorite video that I've contributed so far. It's like my personal kind of, that's the one I'm really happy about, because I think it just gave me the chance to kind of just show kind of a couple of random things about the game, like the fact that you can dress up as Phantom Ganon, and the fact that you can get a skeleton horse, and as well, something that is really the be-all end-all of Breath of the Wild, kind of just randomly finding out new things, because I didn't know that the skeleton horse would just disappear as soon as like the sun rose. That was something that I was like really wondering what was going to happen, and then just getting to dress up as Dark Link and show off that really creepy, sort of strange, dead kind of area. That's, for me, that's what Breath of the Wild is about, is stumbling upon those strange little places and just absorbing the atmosphere of them. So I'm really glad you liked it. So
absolutely stellar.
And yeah, I kind of did the double dip then, because I did Majora's Mask too, which I think we talked about Twilight Princess the last day after Mini Minchino showcased that as being like one of the darker Zelda games, and I think Majora's Mask, really, you can't talk about creepy Zelda games without mentioning just how close to the bone Majora's Mask can hit sometimes when it comes to just being weird and being unsettling and just being all out strange.
100%. And it wouldn't, I mean, and this project wouldn't be complete without it. So, I mean, just for the record, it's just nice that we have that there, you know. But like I have a weird relationship with Majora's Mask. Basically, what boils down to is I still need to play it. I played it a little bit and I really like it. Well, and I've played it. I've never finished it. I think just because I need to get it on the 3DS. I just need it portable. I think that'll help me out a lot.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love the atmosphere, the style. It's such a weird, strange little game, and I love seeing it. I don't know.
definitely, and I think it's kind of I think it's the kind of least Zelda-like Zelda game there is, if you know what I mean. And that's one of the things I adore about it, is that it's just, as I kind of said in the video, it's just all about Link doing all these little but great things that kind of mount up to kind of a lot of good deeds by the end of the game, if you know what I mean. And it can be extremely overwhelming for players as far as the structure is concerned as well, because it just doesn't help you out all that much, and it doesn't follow a kind of a linear pattern like the majority of other Zelda games do. So yeah, I think it's an odd one. It's definitely kind of the black sheep of the Zelda library, but yeah, definitely a good one for anyone like Sean who hasn't really played Majora's Mask properly yet.
For sure.
To come back to games that Sean did play, we had kind of I don't know what to call it, whether it was like a forfeit. I think it was pretty much I told you that you had to play it, so it's not really a forfeit, it was just kind of like me telling you what to do. Sean did a video of Plague of Shadows, which is one of the other Shovel Knight alternate storylines, like Spectre of like the one with Spectre Knight that I did for the last month, and I loved it as well. I just think I don't think I've ever seen a Shovel Knight video that I haven't enjoyed watching. And what I really liked about it was just being able to see you get to grips with how different it is controlling Plague Knight compared to Shovel Knight, because it is really, really different. And it was clear that you had played Shovel Knight before, but that really Plague Knight's strange, kooky movement and attacking style just was a whole other ball game altogether. And you got to play in my abode, Spectre Knight's level, so
yeah, it was fun kind of attaching that to you. It just kind of happened, but it fit and it worked. I was only happy about it. It's funny, since kind of just because what I originally recorded me playing like the first level, and then and like I realized I wasn't talking much because I was still getting used to the controls and stuff. And so I eventually just like halfway through the recording was just like, whatever. And then I just beat the level. and then I recorded the Spectre Knight level because it was different. I thought I'd be just looking at something a little bit different. And it also just had more for me to talk about. But I've since doing that video, I've just been playing it. I've just been playing Spectre of Shadows, or Spectre of Thor, or whatever, Plague of Shadows. That's what it is. I've just been playing it because it's great and I love it. So I don't know. Thank you. If anything, I'm sorry. You go ahead. Sorry.
And I think the alternate timeline of our lives, where you're Plague Knight and I'm Spectre Knight, for some reason that does work out somehow. Just like there's an alternate timeline of our lives where I am Team Chaotix and you are Team Sonic. that works out perfectly as well. So.
Absolutely. Speaking of Team Sonic, I think you had your own little Team Sonic experience. Team experience. Harry played Sonic Unleashed, which is the scariest Sonic game. Unless you're thinking about Sonic 06, it's the scariest Sonic game. What do you think? How was your experience, Harry?
I think I talked enough about what I think about that game when I was actually playing it. I think like for me, like the spookiest or scariest thing about it is just how little time you get to play the game, or how long everything takes, or how much arbitrary garbage you have to do.
Yeah.
Between getting into the games, like you have all these stupid places where you have to walk around and read all these text boxes full of nonsense, and watch a load of cutscenes all in a row, and then play one like 5-minute level, and then there's a whole load of other garbage and loading screens and things like that.
It's bad.
And that's even before you get into kind of the daytime levels, which are fun, but which are kind of wanky jank physics-wise, because the game, like, they just hadn't got to the level that they did with Sonic Colors, where you actually felt like the controls were quite good. Or you have like the really dull, boring Werehog levels, which just are torturous to play because they're so boring. Like, they're just repetitive and boring. So,
yeah.
Thanks for that, Sean. I'm glad you liked
You're
Plague
very
of Shadows.
welcome.
I'm glad you enjoyed that.
So, but now you're playing through all of Sonic Unleashed and loving it, that's funny how that works. That's really great, you know? It's,
yeah. That's a good... Now I'm going to swap over to Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast because it's better.
Ooh, I mean, hey, you know, honestly, I can't even joke. That's only a good time.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, that was our kind of little roundup of what happened in the month of July. As I said at the start of the video, I think, Sean, the one thing I want to get across to everybody is that there's only 1 month left to get your videos out there for Summertime Radness 2, the scary sequel. I think you've kind of got a taste of how much fun it is for us, so why not have some fun yourself?
For sure.
Cool. So, Sean, any last thoughts you would like to get across here?
Get your contributions in, have some fun. I think out of anything, like we saw with Minnie, like it's just cool to see games that we might have never heard of. That's usually my favorite part of the project. But also, yeah, just have some fun. Like we'd love to see anything that anyone contributes. Like Harry said, we have a blast doing it. So go for it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
And
don't be dorks.
Yeah, just be dumb dorks and let's all play some video games. Like it's a great time.
And if you don't, then go to Weenie Hut Jr. and sit there and cry.
Yeah.
Because you're such a loser.
And you can't go to the Salty Splatoon. Sorry, guys. I said Splatoon, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I said Salty Splatoon. That's okay.
That's good.
I'll go there.
Okay. Bye, losers.
Bye.